Welcome to part 30, I believe it is. A look toward the Olympics. August 5th, 2024. That almost looks like a baseball field. Sorry, didn't mean to get distracted there. I was just looking at that picture. I told you I have not seen this yet. This should be really interesting. I love to hear what Elon Musk is up to after all. He is a Templar Knight after all. I do like to keep checks on what they're doing. It's fairly fascinating. Know your enemy. Anyways, look at how this is set up. Oops. It's a lot like Earth, don't you think? They do these things with skill models and they make us believe it's how it is. Let's get on into this. I want to hear his reason for why we gotta leave Earth. We can't leave Earth, by the way, just so you know, just to throw that in there for free. This is where Jesus put us. Jesus is God. We got to be where he says. You can't wait and watch for him from the moon because that's just a light. You can't live on a giant ball of light. The heat will kill you. The sun is hot, yes, and the moon is cold. You can't live on either one of those. That's not where God set us to live. You can't be somewhere that God doesn't put you.
Building one of the biggest bunkers ever built. You see all of these individuals investing time and money in trying to be frozen when they die because they believe with technology and transhumanism they'll be able to live eternally once again via technology.
This is what I tell you about. Oh, look here,
these things. This is where we have all our patients stored, currently 199 humans, plus almost 100 pets. So they're not really dead, they're just legally dead. They're not biologically dead.
Okay, give me a minute on this one. You know I'm not going to leave that alone, right? I believe he just said that there was over 199 species in those containers. It's a people pickling factory. I'm sorry, I could not resist that. These are dead people. For the love of God. These are dead people. No, I'm not going to eat those pickled people. Let me get that out there so we can see these containers better. I got some questions, but I'll wait. I believe he also said there was pets in there, so it's not just a people pickling factory. It's people and pet pickling factory. You can't expect me to leave that alone. Come on, people. I'm crazy. Don't get frozen and I won't be making fun of you. Look at the little locale decal thing here. Pyramid. That tells you a lot. One world order.
Obviously, because you can donate all kinds of organs that are still viable and keep other people alive. It just means that something critical has failed that we can't fix today. We come at the stage where doctors today have given up, where today's medicine and technology is not sufficient to keep you going.
Let's back up just here.
But we're saying instead of just disposing of the patient, give them to us, we're going to stabilize them, stop them getting worse, and hold them for as long as it takes for technology to catch up and allow them to come back to life and continue living. each patient is
Okay.
wrapped with some
Tense that Revelation 6.
Sorry, back to her.
logically dead, obviously, because you can donate all kinds of organs that are still viable and keep other people alive. It just means that something critical has failed that we can't fix today. We come at the stage where doctors today have given up, where...
Okay, that's what I wanted. For just a minute. Look at this logo. It's like the Space Force logo, isn't it? Similar to it, anyway. Pays to pay attention to details, people. But now listen really well again to what he just said. Oh, brother.
Today's medicine and technology is not sufficient to keep you going, but we're saying instead of just disposing of the patient, give them to us, we're going to stabilize them, stop them getting worse, and hold them for as long as it takes for technology to catch up and allow them to come back to life and continue living. So each patient is...
Wow. They're going to resurrect the dead. They're going to freeze them first. They're not going to do like Jesus and let them lay dead in the tomb for 4 days and bring them back. They're going to put them in a freezer for 100 years or so, and then they're going to thaw them out. Look, honey, what's for dinner? Well, Bob, I believe it is. He's who thawed out first. No thanks, I don't want any. Is this where the meat's going to come from in the future? I'm just asking. Sorry. I'm just asking because you're killing off all the cows because of their farts. Because it's causing global warming. So is this where the meat's coming from in the future? I don't want to be a part of that future. Really, I don't want any meat. I'm going to go and be a salad-tarian. A salad-tarian. Yes, no meat on my salad. I'm good. I don't want any. if this is where it's coming from. Oh my goodness, this is some... Boy, I'm nuts, but this right here, yeah. Okay, let's move on along. I keep hitting the wrong play button.
Wrap this all in a sleeping bag to protect them in case we have to move them to soak up liquid nitrogen. Then they're put inside this aluminum pod, or they're secured in there, so they have mechanical protection. And then they're secured in these. So these things being made of aluminum are very good temperature conductors. They're very much like people in a long-term coma, except there's no metabolism. So to them, no time is passing. They're not alive, because obviously there's no metabolism, not functioning, not moving around. So people say, well, if they're not alive, they must be dead. Well, no. There's kind of an in-between state, which is not really alive or dead.
It's amazing what the spirit will fear.
Oh, my Lord. They're not alive, but they're not dead. Oh, goodness gracious. Now we're supposed to believe that there is a state to live in between life and death. Woo! No, we ain't riding no fences on nothing. There is no middle ground. Either you're alive or you're dead, moron. There is no middle ground. If y'all believe this, I hope that an angel comes and pops you right on top of your head real good and hard. Yeah, I really said that. I really do. I hope they thump you and jar your melon. Wake you up. Because this is the biggest fiasco ever did I see tell of in my days. They're not alive, but they're not dead. They're not dead, but they're not alive. Well, I'm going to tell you, there's either one or the other. There ain't no middle ground. Either you alive or you dead. Them people what's in the ground is dead. Now people what's in them metal containers, I'm pretty sure. They did. But here's my question. Let's just back up here for just a brief second. I want you to have another look at them metal containers.
Then they're put inside this aluminum pod, they're secured in there, so they have mechanical protection. And then they're secured in these. So these things are being made of aluminum are very good temperature conductors. They're very much like people in a long-term coma, except there's no metabolism. So to them, no time is passing. They're not alive because obviously there's no metabolism, not functioning, not moving.
To them, no time is passing. That's 'cause they're dead, and the dead knoweth nothing. Boy, this is the biggest load of hogwash. If you believe this, I'll sell you some beachfront property on the moon real cheap. I'll give you every plot I got. I'll sell it cheap, son. Dirt cheap, even though you're ready to put a colony up there. I will sell it dirt cheap. Every plot that I own. But anyway, oh my God. I've lived long enough for it to come to this. Now my question was, you've seen these metal containers. What happens to these frozen fritters if the power fails? Everybody thaws at once. We're going to have a big shindig and everybody's going to be put on the Barbie at one time. Please shave the dogs first. Well, he said people's pets were in there. I'm sorry. He said... I'm sorry. This is just some crazy mojo right here. Not my kind of crazy either. But he said people's pets was in there too. But anyway. What? Seriously, I really want to know. What happens if the power fails to the dead people who are dead? And the dead animals. And the dead animals that aren't dead. I can do this. I may need 5 minutes, but I can do this. Okay. Breathe. Alrighty. Getting back into this.
Around. So people say, well, if they're not alive, they must be dead. Well, no. There's kind of an in-between state, which is not really alive or dead.
It's amazing what the spirit of fear will once again, in the future, cause mankind to do. Yet it was predicted. When you have the Spirit of God living in you, you don't have to fear. But it is because society fears that the pandemic and the many things that were involved in it were successful. How many of y'all remember that Mork and Minnie show? And it is that same entity, that same principality of fear that will lead towards AI being the one to be able to solve all of our issues. You see, AI can do a lot of things to help during viruses and during pandemics, but it also comes with diabolical persecution. Pandemic tracking. What better way to track a pandemic than with AI? You see, with AI, if most of humanity is either one way or another tracked with...
Hello? They ain't really worried about the pandemic. They want to track you, Dorcas. They ain't worried about whether you sick or not. They just want to know where you at all times. Know what you doing. Know what you buying. Know what you selling. Knowing if you keeping a dollar hid from them or not. I'll see you in the next part. Look at, there he is with his Moloch flag. Whew, I tell you, I can't let it go. See you in the next part.